Well, we're finally doing it. We are talking Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni.
Shit.
Yeah, we got to chat about this because it's crazy.
Okay, so Justin Baldoni was in a movie with Blake Lively. They both acted together, and he was the director and one of the producers, and she was also a producer in the end from memory, or was she just an actor in it that ended up just swinging her dick around and
I don't know if she was officially a producer, but she definitely, I think, was getting involved.
It was his production company. The movie itself centers very much around sort of abuse, which is a very touchy topic. And it's off that Colleen Hoover book. And so since it came out, Blake has decided to put a lawsuit against Justin. Now, we knew that everything had gone bad because they weren't together on the red carpet. There was all this media speculation as to them not really liking each other. They were kept separate. It was very, very weird. And generally, these Hollywood things just kind of disappear. Like that time that Harry Styles apparently spat on one of the Chris's.
I forgot about that. Chris Pine?
Chris Pine,
yeah, because they were doing that "Don't Worry, Darling" tour, and that was a fucking nightmare.
And that was a whole thing with Olivia Wilde. That was great, right?
That was peak promotion. Do that again, someone.
And then it just sort of disappeared, right?
Yes.
So the whole thing disappeared. This didn't disappear. It disappeared. It became a lawsuit.
Yeah.
And now, since Blake started with this lawsuit, we've just had the ball roll down the hill, and it just keeps gathering more shit as it goes.
Yeah, so a little quick timeline. December 2024 is when Blake accused Justin of sexual harassment and astroturfing, which, if you don't know what astroturfing is, it is the deceptive practice of presenting an orchestrated marketing or public relations campaign in the guise of unsolicited comments from members of the public. So basically a smear campaign. She filed that. It was a 10-claim complaint with California's Civil Rights Department, detailing a hostile work environment. She also had Lively and her employees had said they were subject to nude videos or images of women, including the producer's wife, mentions of Baldoni's or fellow producer Jamie Heath's previous pornography addiction, discussions about personal experiences with sex, descriptions of their own genitalia, etc., etc.
Okay, pause for 1 second. Just pause for 1 second. We, in our friendship group, and obviously in our friendship group we work together, we talk about stuff.
And I've got all the receipts. I've kept it. I've kept everything. Just in case.
Go for it. Like, how worse could it be than what other people have said about me? But this seems like everything that we joke about in our friendship group, like the things that we openly discuss. But I guess maybe because we do it in a safe environment, and that's what's different. And
maybe like if it is true that he did all this, maybe he thought it was a safe friend environment like what ours is, but it wasn't. But also maybe it was until the the It Ends With Us campaign trail, and then everything got weird, and then maybe she was just like, fuck it, I've decided I don't like that stuff. I don't know. I'm iffy on Blake Lively's what's the word? I'm
going to say motives.
Motives, and like I don't know who she is as a person, because she, as an example, and this is what really like turned me off her, she's sober, openly sober, but has an alcohol company. Yeah. Called like Boozy Betty or something. Which just rubs me so the wrong way. Like, how can you, a sober person, promote an alcoholic beverage in good conscience? Like, I don't. It doesn't. It's a weird. When I read about that, I was like, nah. I was always a bit funny on you. Now I'm a bit off ya.
It feels like there's a lot of people who feel the same. Yeah. But her versus Justin thing,
I don't know.
It just gets,
I don't know whose side I would be on
I
this.
don't. Because it just seems like both of them are acting so icky and have done icky things in the past and then continue to do icky things. that it's so confusing. Like, this lawsuit comes out, and then what's the next thing that happens?
Well, WME actually dropped Baldoni. So that's the like
publicity?
Talent agent. Yeah.
Right, okay.
They dropped him straight away so that they were not involved with him. December 31, Baldoni sues New York Times for $250 million.
Okay.
For a article that was written about him. Jan 7, Lively's lawyers accused Baldoni's team of blame the victim tactics.
Right.
And then that same day, Brian Friedman accused Ryan Reynolds. So Brian is on Team Baldoni. Accused Ryan Reynolds of making fun of Baldoni with the Deadpool and Wolverine character Nicepool.
Yeah, with the top knot.
Yeah. So see, I actually haven't watched either of these films, but
it's actually crazy. It's crazy.
Like accurate.
Well, just the way he acts.
Yeah.
And also the top knot.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit like, if it's not curated to do this and to like be a mockery, then it's kind of a perfect accident.
Yeah.
And I don't always believe in perfect accidents, especially when it comes to someone like Ryan Reynolds, who's very quick, very cutting, and can be very funny in a mean way.
Yes.
And like that sense of humor, like, I think a lot of people had given Ryan Reynolds a pass for many, many years. But just like Ellen, I think now people are looking back retrospectively and going,
like, oh, hold on.
Maybe it's just mean.
Yeah, so this is what Brian Friedman had said. He said, there's no question it relates to Justin. I mean, anybody who watched that hair bun, if someone is seriously sexually harassed, you don't make fun of it. It's a serious issue. So they're basically saying if Ryan Reynolds truly believes that his wife has been sexually harassed, it's not a joke, and you're not going to make fun of that joke, make fun of that situation in a film. Okay, so January 16, Baldoni directly sues Lively and Reynolds for $400 million, and this is defamation, extortion, and more. Just hours after the big lawsuit was filed, Lively and her legal team said this is another chapter in the abuser playbook. By January 2021, Baldoni releases the behind-the-scenes footage from It Ends With Us film, and this is where they are they're dancing, they're slow dancing.
They're holding each other. It's obviously, they're filming, and these are some film bits, some in between takes, but they are mic'd up.
And Lively was using this as like the time where she felt uncomfortable on set, and so he has basically counter-sued her by saying like, well, have a look at the footage. These people seem perfectly fine. You can hear us chatting on the microphones, pretty normal.
Yeah, they're talking about their partners and stuff.
Yeah. Jan 27, another voice memo surfaces.
Oh, my God, the voice memo.
The voice memo.
So
he sent
creepy.
These weird voice memos at 2 a.m. saying things like, I'm really sorry I fucked up. I will admit and apologize when I fail. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. Then Feb 12, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds subpoena AT&T, T-Mobile and Verizon. So they basically want all the receipts that they can get because they're sure that there are deleted text messages and they want to be able to retrieve them.
Right. Oh my God.
Which is crazy, right? Like the money that is going into this is...
It's such a waste. Look, here's the thing.
It's such a waste.
If Blake Lively was abused on this set, I feel like you could easily have witnesses.
Yep.
You could easily have receipts of this happening. And for the amount of stuff that's recorded, now I know that it was his production company, but for the amount of stuff that's recorded, I feel like this could have been done in a much quieter manner.
Out of court.
That could have been sorted out. And I don't understand why it's so public. It seems like Blake wanted to hurt him for whatever reason, and who knows if it's true or not, the things that he's accused of doing. But it seems like she wanted to hurt him and she wanted it to be as public as possible. And I think she thought that everyone would just be on her side. And it turns out that there's not that much goodwill for her.
Well, no, and then they have the whole situation with she's been releasing that other movie, another simple favor,
yeah.
And like Anna Kendrick's been asked about her, and she doesn't have anything to say. She's not saying anything bad, but she's not defending her friend.
No.
So that gets a bit muddy as well. And then like there was always the rumors from the Gossip Girl days that Leighton Meester did not get along with Blake Lively, and she certainly hasn't been coming out and speaking up for her. Anyway, on Feb 18, Blake Lively alleges that other women were made uncomfortable by Baldoni on the production. That's a 48-page complaint. 48 pages longer than the initial complaint. So we're getting up to now, and this is the thing that is the latest in the drama, and the thing that is getting so many clicks, because of course it is, because whose name has been involved? Taylor Allison Swift.
Right. So Taylor is very close with the Reynolds family.
Yeah.
And like even wrote songs with their children's names in it.
There's a song called Betty on the Folklore album, and Betty, Inez, and James are three of their daughters' names. They have another son now, but he wasn't.
Okay, so they were very cliquey as friends, and what's happening?
So on May 9, Taylor Swift was subpoenaed and asked to divulge what exactly she knew about behind the scenes of the film.
Right.
In response, for Lively, Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Sarowitz, and team continue to turn a case of sexual harassment and retaliation into entertainment for the tabloids, going as far as suggesting that they sell tickets to a concert venue to witness Miss Lively's deposition, to subpoenaing Taylor Swift, a woman who has given a voice to millions all over the world. So the reason that they've involved Taylor, as far as I can tell, Taylor lent a song for the film, My Tears Ricochet, was in the movie. However, that was all she had to do with it. Apparently, she was never on set. She was never behind the scenes. That's what Taylor's team is saying. They said all she has done is given a song. However, she was subpoenaed because her name was in some of the text messages. So Justin had spoken about how, Taylor and your friends. And so because her name is within the text messages that are being used in court, apparently that is why she was subpoenaed.
Oh my God.
Which is wild because like you're just texting about friends. It got a bit weird too with apparently Blake Lively refers to her friends like Swift as her dragons. Right. So within the text, she compared herself to Khaleesi, the dragon-controlling queen of Game of Thrones, and suggested she has powerful forces in her corner. My dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise. It's something she wrote to Baldoni after there was a bit of a change in one of the scenes. She had given direction, and I guess Taylor and Ryan had helped her with that somehow. Maybe Taylor had just helped with something else, but Ryan helped with that, and then they're talking about all her dragons. So these messages, because they've included Taylor's name, she's been subpoenaed. However, now it's going so far as to say that Taylor has halted their friendship for now. Which is so Taylor Swift. Like, even if that's not exactly the truth, Taylor Swift would absolutely
halt a friendship.
Like, pull back on a friendship to just avoid the drama. The source close to Taylor, which we love a source close to, has said that their friendship has halted and that Taylor wants no part in this drama. A different source has said that they're taking some space from each other, but that they're no longer friends, which is the distinction. They're no longer friends. They're just halting the friendship for now. And Travis Kelce, which is Taylor's boyfriend, unfollowed Ryan Reynolds on Instagram.
Oh, so that's and when dramatic. You unfollow someone, that's a huge thing. Huge. And that doesn't happen by accident, you know.
Yeah. Apparently, Blake Lively allegedly threatened to leak embarrassing private texts from Taylor Swift unless she agreed to publicly back her in the feud against Baldoni. I don't know how true that is. DailyMail.com got that one.
Yeah.
And then Gigi Hadid, who is also in the little threesome but is closer with Taylor, she feels terrible that her close friendship is being, divided, but she's closer to Taylor. So she's just staying on Team Taylor to stay out of the drama.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like high school, but with a lot of money.
With a lot of money. And you would just assume that because obviously everything around this now, so she did that Another Simple Favor that you mentioned, and I don't want to watch it. No, I liked the first one.
Did you? I didn't really see it.
I liked the first one, and I don't want to watch it, but not because I'm like, oh, Blake Lively sucks, Team Justin. I don't care about any of that. It's just because of this constant bullshit with them in the media, and you know that they're both feeding stuff to the media to get one up on each other. It's just so gross.
Yeah.
The whole thing is so gross. I don't know who's right. No. I can't make this call. I wasn't there. But these two people can't then go, actually, can we just sort it out?
Yeah.
Can we just sort it out? And then can we both just go? Because ultimately, when I first started seeing this and within a couple of weeks, I was like, no one's getting out of this looking good now.
No, you're so right. It doesn't actually matter at the end of the day who wins or who loses. Yeah. The whole thing has been so messy and childish. I'm not saying that the claims are childish. Absolutely not. The claims are terrible if they're true. But the childish nature of it is it all feels very petty. They're going with these little things and, but he looked at me this way and he said this about me and she looked at me that way and she said this about me. It all seems very childish the way they're going about it. But also Americans freaking love suing each other. They love suing each other. I don't think it's that prevalent in Australia.
No, it's more so these days. But here's a question for you. Let's say there's a scandal, right? And I'm involved.
Can't wait.
Okay, no, don't say you can't wait. Let's say there's a scandal, right? And somebody comes forward and says that they previously worked with me and I was a tyrant.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen.
Totally.
And are you going to be like Gigi Hadid? Are you going to just go, you know what? I don't want to get involved in this. Are you going to be like Taylor? Are you going to not put your hat in the ring? Or are you actually going to say what you feel?
I'll be Justin.
What do you mean you'll be Justin?
I'll be the one suing you, bitch.